What you guys, today we're taking a look at the faulty Microsoft update that disrupts Windows systems worldwide. Things seem to be going from bad to worse for Microsoft, and today we're going to be going through some of the steps that you might need to take if you're using Windows 11 25H2. So I've seen quite a few comments about people having trouble installing Windows updates, also uninstalling Windows updates, and also having issues with Windows updates in general. And we're going to be going through here. Now, this is an issue that has been going on with Windows 11. Microsoft seem to push out these updates to the general public before they're fully tested. And of course, what happens is it causes loads of problems once installed on the system. But some people are saying they're having issues with it installing onto the system as well. And I thought it's a bit strange because I thought I'd give it a test. And I've got a virtual machine here, which is a brand new installation of Windows 11 25H2. And I'm doing an update here. And you can see this is the security update KB5074109. And this update has been nothing but problems for Microsoft. It's been causing loads of issues. And they've even released two, yes, that's right, two emergency updates for this particular update. Now, why they didn't pull it, I really don't know, because it did cause a lot of problems. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you some of the problems that I had on this machine, and I recorded it all just for your pleasure, so you can sit back, have a cup of tea and a biscuit, and basically laugh at Windows 11. Because Microsoft are just literally day in, day out causing problems for themselves. And believe you me, when things go wrong, they go wrong really badly. So I've skipped forward to the installation phase and we're at 100% installing. And there you can see that file is now saying download and install all, and it's pending download. It's just basically skipped the installation of KB5074109. And that's what's happening on this system right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this again and see whether it can install on the system. Now this update has been causing Microsoft a lot of problems. So I skipped across and downloaded it. And again, it says pending install. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to quickly reboot the system and see whether it actually gets installed onto the system. So I've gone ahead and quickly restarted the PC to see whether we get the installation of that file. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to let it install. Now it's doing something here. I can see on the system, it says you're 30% there, and then it will start to boot up, and then we will basically get back to the desktop. So we'll just let it get back to the desktop. There we go. And we can go back in and take a look right here. Now, this is exactly what someone else said, that they were having issues with this update. Now, whether Microsoft have done something or pulled it, I really don't know. And it's stopping it going down. But you can see right here, it's starting to download again. And it is the KB5074109. It is that file. And I had no problems installing this. So whether they've done something, because now it's starting to install again, and we're getting that reboot loop. So what I did was I headed over to Microsoft Update Catalog and I downloaded that exact file from here to install on this PC, to do it manually myself to see whether that resolves the issue. So I'm going to go ahead and hit download here, and we're going to get the download link for this, and I'll get it on the system and we'll try and install it. So I've gone ahead and clicked on the file that we just downloaded. It says, you sure you want to install the KB5074109? I'm going to say yes to that and let it go ahead and manually install this update onto the system. So we're just letting it do its thing. And I'm going to speed this process up so you don't get bored. But basically, you see the file trying to install right there. And it says some updates were not installed. The following updates were not installed. Security update for Windows KB5074109. So you can see even manually, it's now not installing onto the system. So whether this is something that has happened with that file, or Microsoft have done something to it, or what, I really don't know, but it's definitely not installing on here now. And someone else said they had this same problem, and some people were saying they couldn't even uninstall that update, with the video I made the other day showing you how to uninstall it if you're having issues. So let's go ahead and go through the troubleshooting part of Windows, which a lot of people have to go through. and we'll try the Windows Update Troubleshooter. And you can see right here, it's going off to do a little troubleshoot. And again, it says get help. We've got a white screen here. I'm not sure why that's white, but it's trying to do something here. And these tools are really, to be fair, are not that great. They don't really do much to the system. I don't think they have ever repaired anything on a system that I've tried to repair. And Microsoft seems to keep releasing tons of these tools that try to repair things, and they never seem to do anything. So that right there has not worked. As you can see, we've got a white screen. I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm going to close this off. I'm going to run it one more time and see if we can get a screen coming up here. So we should see an actual page with some information on it so we can actually go through. There we go. That's what we should have seen before. So what we're going to do here is saying I can't download and install or uninstall an update, because that's what's happening to a lot of people. So what I'm going to do is click on this one here. You can see the sign in to contact support. This will give you direct contact with Microsoft if you sign in to that Microsoft account, which is what they want to do. Can we run the Windows Update Automatic Diagnostic? I'm going to say yes, you can. And we're going to check for Windows Update errors. We're going to let them do that as well. And it says the Windows Update Diagnostic failed to run. So it says they're sorry, it's failed to run. And do you want to contact support? So you'd have to sign in to actually talk to a Microsoft technician here by signing into an account. I don't want to do that. So we're going to move on to the next step. So what we're going to do is close this off for here. And what we're going to do is open up a command prompt and we'll run some commands and try and clear out the Windows Update folder, the software distribution folder, because sometimes a lot of updates get caught in there and it can cause a lot of problems. So let's go ahead and type CMD in search, run this as administrator, and run the commands that you can see on the screen right here. What this is going to do is stop some of the Windows Update services that are running so we can rename the software distribution folder and the catroot2 folder to .old. That way, when we reboot the PC, it will basically create new ones. And if they've got any junk or corruption in there, it will fix it. So you just have to run through and run these commands one at a time to stop all of these services right here. And then we can run the rename of that directory, because if the services are running, you won't be able to rename it. And you can create a batch file. I think there's one on our Discord server that does exactly this. And I'm just going to copy these in right here. And once these have pasted in and entered, we can then restart the same services. Pretty straightforward and easy to do. And you can use this if you're having issues with Windows updates. So what we're going to do right here is we're just going to finish off this last couple here. And we might even do a SFC /scan now to check to see whether there's any corruption or any errors or integrity issues with the system. So let's go ahead and do that while we're here. We might have restarted first, but I'm just going to run that here to see what comes up here. And I'll speed this up so we can get to the end screen. And it takes a little bit of time, but once this comes up, you should see no errors at all. But you can see here, it had trouble of trying to fix the corrupt files. It could not fix them. It was unable to fix some of the files, and that's not a good thing. So what I'm going to do here is we'll run these in a second. I'm going to restart the PC, and then we can run the DISM commands here. So let me go ahead and restart. And now we're back at the desktop. And what we're going to do is open up command prompt one last time here. And we're going to just run these commands to see whether there's any sort of issues and whether we can fix or resolve it. So we're going to type SFC /scan now. And this is to see whether that restart has actually fixed it. I don't think it has, but we'll just run a check to see. And we'll see whether it's an issue. And it found corrupt files, but was unable to fix some of them. So basically, you can see we've now got an issue here. Now, it has left a log file. I'm not going to go through this whole process. We're just going to go through here and try this scan health to see whether there's an issue with the image version right here. And it says the component store is repairable. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to put in the next command. And when I did this next command to restore health, basically what happened was it froze. So we got to a certain point and it just froze and it would not move, which told me there was an issue. It got to about 63%, I think. So let's go ahead and try the last couple of little tools here that Microsoft have got for offer on Windows 11. We'll try this fix problems using Windows updates. So we'll try this one. This one has been pretty successful for me in the past. So we're going to go click OK here. And we're going to let that run its checks. And it's going to check to see whether we can fix the issue that we're having here, because obviously we can't get the updates installed on the system. And the problem is with Windows, it has a ton of tools, but a lot of them just don't work. And you end up having to do basically a repair install of the system. And you can see right here, repair version of Windows not found. Please try again later. So again, we can't use that feature because it's not found. So we won't be able to use that. And what I'm doing here is just showing you a typical scenario of what a lot of home users will do if they know some of these tools exist. They will just go through the motions like you're seeing right here and get frustrated and end up doing a clean install of Windows. I'm just going to try it one more time here, because what I'm trying to do is see if it was just a glitch and see if we can get it to run. And if it runs, it will try to repair the issue, but it can't repair it because it can't find it, and that means it's broken. So let's try the good old quick machine recovery. This is the new tool that you can use. So we're going to turn this on right here, once recommended, and we'll leave this and we'll go ahead and we'll try and use this because this is their latest recovery tool for machine recovery. And of course, we're expecting it to be a good tool because it's obviously going to replace probably all the other tools, or they're just going to leave them all on the system and you're going to end up with a ton of tools like we've got so far, and none of them have worked. So let's go ahead and hold the shift key down and restart the system and get into recovery mode. And hopefully we can run it and see whether this tool is good enough to fix the issue. So we're going into recovery right here. And it's great to have all these tools, but we obviously want a fix at the end of the day, because that's what we're trying to do here, to save our system, to stop having to reinstall it. So let's go into advanced options here, and we can see quick machine recovery, and we're going to try and do this, and it will try and find a solution to our problem, and we'll see if it can fix it. And there is lots of tools inside Windows that will help you try to fix problems, but to be honest with you, a lot of them really just don't work, and a lot of them just don't fix issues. Now, you might be able to fix the small basic issues, but some of the more complex stuff like what's happening here, for some reason, just out of the blue, and there's other people that have said they've had this problem as well. So we're just letting it look for a solution here, because this is their new tool and it should be able to fix a lot of problems like they stated. And you can see your device run into a problem and couldn't be repaired. It just won't be able to repair it. So now we have to press enter to basically see if there's any other recovery options available. Well, we're running out of options very quickly. So we've tried quite a few. So let's go down to the good old trusty faithful one that we've used for quite a while now. They've introduced this in Windows 10 here, which is reset your PC, or reset this PC. And you can keep your files, but basically what that's going to do is keep your files and remove all the applications and basically reinstall Windows over the top, which is something we used to call a repair install back in the day, or an in-place upgrade. And that's what it's basically doing. It's replacing the files with known good ones. And unfortunately, it just means that it's going to keep your personal data, download a fresh install of Windows from Microsoft and install it, but you're going to lose all your apps and all your programs. So if you've got a lot of apps and programs installed, then don't use this method. I'll speed it up here, and this method will work. It's probably the most reliable out of all of them, but it's the most destructive because it's removing your applications. And if you've got a lot of applications and games and stuff installed on the PC, they're just not going to be there anymore and they're not going to work. And that's unfortunate, but that's what Windows is. When it starts to go wrong, it goes wrong in a bad way. And all of this is stemmed from that update, as you can see there. It's just stemmed from that Windows update that Microsoft released, which is now inconveniencing me, the customer that's using their product. and it's now not working. So let's go back into Windows Updates. Now we've done a repair install. We haven't got the applications that we used to have on the system, but it doesn't really matter for me because this is a virtual machine. And there you go. The downloads are now coming down and they're starting to get installed on the system. Now, are we going to have an issue with that KB5074109? And are we going to have a trouble installing it on the system? I bet we don't. And I bet it was just some sort of bug or issue that Windows could not just correct itself and fix. So we'll just let this download. I'll speed it up so we don't have to hang around here and see whether it gets installed onto the PC. So I've skipped ahead a little bit and it's now saying pending restart. So let's go ahead and restart the system and hopefully everything should work perfectly fine. But the inconvenience to you is you've lost all your applications and you've had to rebuild the operating system, which means thank you to Microsoft and their botched updates. You've ended up having to go through this palaver, which a lot of people are just sick and tired of. And this is what the big problem is. They're just pushing out updates that are just not working, or they're broken, or you can't uninstall them. There's lots of problems I've seen with this particular update that people are having, and it's not good. And again, people will just get sick and tired of it. So we're letting it get to the desktop here. Let's just quickly check to see whether it got installed or whether we've got that same issue again. And it seems to be working. Okay, so let's quickly go into update history. And there you go. The file is installed on the system. What an absolute palaver we had to go through to get that installed and working and fixed. Again, it's at the inconvenience of me, the consumer, who's using their product and it's broken. And now we have to do what we're doing right here to try and get it working and fixed. This is the problem. Windows 11 is broken and they need to fix it. And they need to stop pushing out updates that say are going to fix things when they break things and make things worse for people. Because that's why the percentage of users that are using Windows 11 is pretty low. And the percentage of users that are using Windows 10 is still very, very high. And I'm one of them. I'm on Windows 10. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below whether you've had issues with this update or whether you've had no trouble with this update whatsoever. I'd be interested to read your comments. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Hope you found this video helpful and I shall catch you in the next video. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.